Good morning. I got some music playing this morning. She's ready to dance. Emily, it looks like you're on an airplane or something. And I can't hear you in your car. So.
Oh, there we go. I'm on my way to the office.
Oh, Alexa off. Turn it off, Alexa. She wants to rock the house. So how's everybody doing today?
Good.
Yeah, good to see you all. Super excited to have you here today. It is 9 o'clock straight up. But we had like 90 some odd people register for this class today, which I thought was kind of crazy.
Wow.
I know. But of course, look, we have 9 of us here. So kind of how life works, right? It's funny.
Yep.
People say what they want to do, but they don't always show up and do what they want to do. But we have some people haven't met before here. So I'm excited to have you guys here. This is my Tuesday Tuneups Mastermind. And I do have kind of a whole little thing I'm going to go through today. Hey, Chris. Hey, William, Andy, Diana, nice to meet you all. And what I'm going to do is go through it, but I want this to be interactive and I would love for you to interject. So feel free to type something in the comments. Feel free to open your microphone and talk because I would love to hear what you guys have to say too. So let's see. Let me get make sure I can share my screen. Yay. Oh, good morning, Kelly. Good to see you. Nice to see Kelly here. And there you are. Good morning, sunshine. Did you get back late from the beach barn? You're muted.
Yes, we got back late last night. And I'm moving really slow this morning, but I got a big day. So I'm trying to get it together.
Well, you're here. That's what counts, right? So
Yep.
Kelly, you guys was able to buy a dream of theirs, and they bought a beach house in what town is it?
Shelter Cove, California.
In Shelter Cove. Last year before last, was it 2021?
Yeah, it was a year in December.
Yeah. So, and they renovated it, man. You have to follow her because it's beautiful. I love what you guys have done to that. I mean, the before and after pictures are crazy.
Thank you. We don't ever want to leave when we go there.
I don't blame you.
If we had like unending amounts of money, we wouldn't come home.
Wouldn't that apply to all of us? Like we would totally live somewhere else, right?
Yes.
I actually love where I live. So, but I like the idea of having another home somewhere else, like a home away from home. I'd love to have a beach house or, something like that. But I want something like in Mexico, like that I can afford.
A tropical ocean.
A tropical warm place. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, good morning, you guys. Let's dive right in. Again, I'm Marguerite Crispillo, and this is now Tuesday Tuneups. I used to do these Tuesday Tuneups, like we're talking 15 years ago, live and in person. Beth, you might remember those days. And we used to do them every week. And it started out because I would have agents ask me questions all the time. I've been in real estate for 29 years, and I needed to kind of consolidate my time, right? And so I said, okay, look, every Tuesday, I'm going to open up my office and whoever wants to show up, come on in, dive away, ask questions. And it became kind of a pretty big thing back when I used to own my own brokerage. And so I've been wanting to relaunch it in a digital format like this for a while. And I've done it kind of sporadically, but now I think I think I got my things figured out. I have a couple of virtual assistants here helping me out, and I'm excited for it. So, all right, let's dive in. Let me share my screen. Hold on a second here. Flip display, swap. There we go. I should have probably had that all figured out before I got here. But okay, share screen. There we go. Now, can you guys see my screen? Awesome. So what today I wanted to talk about is that, one of the big challenges that I see is agents are in this roller coaster ride, right? We've talked a lot about that in some of the emails. If you guys are not on my email list, you can go over to margueritecrispillo.com and add your name. But some of the things that we have talked about there is this roller coaster ride that we as an industry go through. And I know we have some lending people here, loan people here as well. They go through the same thing, right? We get business, we hustle, we try to close those deals, then we close those deals, and all of a sudden we're out of business and we're back to starting from scratch. And the reality is if we did a lot of the consistent work, that wouldn't happen as much as it does. But on the other hand, we have a whole market that has shifted recently that went from 0 to 60 and back down to 0 again. And a lot of us are figuring out, holy crap, how do I get some right now business? Like you might have kind of felt like you could coast through the holidays, but now here we are in January, we're actually February 1 tomorrow. And we're like, crap, we need to get some business going. We need to start hustling. So I thought, okay, I'm going to put together what are some of the top ways that you can get out there and get business right now. Now, I know that there is advertising and marketing. I know agents and teams that are spending thousands and thousands of dollars on internet marketing. They're spending money on Zillow leads and realtor.com leads and, all these different Google ads and all these different things. But what I know and what I've known since day one is that when you build a business right, it will come, right? When you build those relationships and deepen those relationships, then guess what? Business will come your way. Now, a lot of times it feels like it's never going to come, but if you do the work consistently, business starts coming in consistently. It's kind of like working out, right? We all wish there was a magic pill. We could push the button and we'd have, model bodies. But the reality is we have to do the basics every day, every single day. We have to do the work to get to the place where we want to be. So let's dive in and talk about some of these ways to help you guys get right now business. First of all, this sounds really basic and generic, but honestly, get up, dress up, and show up. And truthfully, the earlier you wake up, and getting up before anyone else, it will change the way you do things. I did a podcast a few years ago with Amanda Todd. I don't know if any of you guys know her, but she said, wake up earlier than anyone else is willing to so you can plan your day and get organized. If most agents slept 8 hours each night and you sleep 6, that extra 2 hours adds up to 730 hours or 30 days of additional productivity each year. Truth is, you can give yourself an entire month head start on the competitor, right? And I can't even tell you how many times I've had the conversation with agents about showing up like a professional. It should be basic, but the truth is, are you showing up like a professional? So what does that mean? Well, the best example that I can give you today is that if a multi-million-dollar buyer called and you were getting ready to meet them, how would you show up? How would you dress to meet with this client? I know that we've kind of come into this world where life is much more casual, and I understand that. I get it. But how would you literally dress to meet with this client? So my next question is this: doesn't every client deserve your very best? When you are dressed for success, success shows up. And I promise you, it never fails for me. The one time I stopped by the office on the way home from the gym in my sweats, client walks in the door, I'm always embarrassed. I'm always apologizing for my appearance. And this doesn't happen when I'm dressed for success and ready for work. And so this is what I want you guys to understand is that, do you even have a schedule? Do you have a schedule for yourself? And what does that typical day look like for you? A huge mistake I see a ton of agents make all the time is not having a schedule. Having a schedule and sticking to it will do some amazing things for you and your business. Somebody said audio is not coming through clear. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So just want to make sure of that. So, starting with how important it is to get up, get dressed, and be ready for the day. And I know that if I choose not to get up early, I sleep in, I don't feel like getting dressed, I'm hanging out in my pajamas, I promise you, nothing is going to happen that day. Very little to anything. And so what does your schedule look like? Have you set something up to where you have to get up and get out of your house every day? That alone can be a game changer. We went through this whole COVID thing where we were all on lockdown for a while. And a lot of us got really comfortable in that lockdown area. A lot of us got really nice and cozy, not having to get up and get dressed, right? And so set appointments for yourself every day that you are going to work. Set an appointment somewhere. Set an appointment for coffee with somebody. Set an appointment to go meet with a lender and learn new skills or new programs that they might have. Set an appointment with a home inspection company. Learn a little bit about what they do. Set an appointment with a title and escrow person and maybe learn some tips and tricks in marketing from them. The point is if you have an appointment, you will show up, because the truth is you guys will let yourselves down all day long, but you won't let somebody else down. And so it's the importance of getting up, dressing up, and showing up, right? Okay, step number 2, pick up the phone and dial. Again, I know this sounds really basic, but here's what I know. I have a whole group of people in Sales Fuel. It's a program that I launched recently. And what's so funny is how afraid many of them are to pick up the phone. It's like the number one thing they don't want to do. They don't want to pick up the phone and call. And so if you think about this, if you speak with 60 clients, referral sources, or prospects over the phone each week, and you create time blocks each morning to make these calls so they don't get shuffled to the side when something more important comes along. You call past clients, new leads, open house guests that you had, strategic partners, friends, family, FSBOs, expireds. If you block out this time and make your calls every day, it's going to dramatically change your business. Let me ask you, Beth, are you seeing a difference since you've been held accountable, so to speak, on making your calls?
Yeah, I definitely am. And it's kind of nice. I mean, you get that nervousness. Maybe I haven't talked to a client in a while. I'm embarrassed. And they're just so happy to hear from you. And so it's triggering, hey, my daughter's been thinking about buying a house. So, but it is fearful. I think it's just because we're embarrassed that we didn't maybe talk to them in a while.
Absolutely. And so what you start to see is get past, get the nervousness out with a couple of good friends, right? Call them, say hi, talk to them, then dive into your client base and your past clients and your personal friends and family. Now, these are not calls where you're calling and saying, hi, Beth, I'm calling to see if you want to buy or sell a home right now. This is more along the lines of, hey, how are you? How's things? How's business? How's life, right? We have the famous script, which is called the Ford script: family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Are you spending some time talking to these people, getting to know them? What I can promise you without fail, almost every time, they will ask you about real estate. They'll say, so, hey, what's going on with rates, Beth? Man, I've seen them going up and down. Or they'll say, hey, how's the real estate market? They know you're in real estate, right? Yes, Ford is a golden acronym. Yes, Kelly. And so getting on the phone and making those calls. Now, if you're struggling to do it yourself, get an accountability partner. Get an accountability partner, somebody who will hold you accountable. Get a couple friends together and make your calls together. Sit in a room together and make your calls. There's lots of different ways you can make this happen. You can even hop on Zoom with each other and just mute them, but they can see you making your calls and talking to people. But a lot of us, what we do is we make a call and then we go spend 15 minutes figuring out who's the next person we're going to call. We're searching our database and we're checking through, and then we scroll on over to Facebook and see what's going on there. And then maybe 15 minutes later, 20 minutes later, maybe we start another call. So this one is important. And I know you guys, I know you're thinking this is basic. What's she going to tell us, right? Well, here's the reality is it's so important to make this stuff happen. And most of you are not doing 99% of this. Another thing is scheduling face-to-face appointments. Are you setting time to meet with people face-to-face? I have to tell you, an agent called me last night and she was pretty heartbroken. She had a listing that she just thought for sure she was getting. She had it in the bag. It was a family member and she had been working with them for over a year and talking with them and helping them with a lot of things, setting stuff up. And she had not set time to sit down and meet with them and go over the process. They called her yesterday to tell her they're listing with somebody else. So here's another huge mistake, you guys. Treat your family and friends just like you would your most valuable client, because they are. And the biggest mistake I see is they think, oh, well, but that's my sister or my family member. Of course they'll use me. It's not automatic, you guys. And you also have to keep in mind, they need to see the professional side of you. And if they can't envision the professional side of you, by sitting down and going through the process with them like you would any other client, then they have a tough time treating you professionally and trusting you to handle one of the biggest financial decisions they make personally, right? And professionally. So it's so important. Schedule time to meet with clients, schedule time to meet with referral sources and prospects face-to-face each week. Get in front of them. Here's the truth, you guys, you have a 70% chance of them working with you if you just get in front of them, right? So it's amazing to me that everyone has these concerns, of course, about meeting with people face-to-face. It's very important. What can you do to actually get in front of them? Okay. It can be as simple as things like lunch, dinners, stuff like that. But schedule set days each week for these meetings. Andy says, warm prospects take work like any cold leads. So true, Andy. Like treat everybody the same and you'll see how different your business will show up. And instead of meeting these different people at 3 different restaurants on 3 different days, meet all 3 of them on the same day at the same restaurant, one after another. I've seen this a lot and I think it's amazing, right? Strategically schedule these meetings so each party will benefit from an introduction. What does that mean? As each meeting ends, you can introduce the departing party to your new guest. For example, if you're meeting a client at 11 a.m., a financial planner at noon, and a CPA at 1, as your first appointment ends, introduce your client to the financial planner. As your noon meeting ends, introduce the financial planner to the CPA. All the parties will benefit from these introductions, right? And over time, the wait staff and hostess will learn your name and give you the best tables. You guys ever think who's at the mafia? Like they sit in the corner, right? And like, come on over to my table. And so I would think about that. And I think that's actually such a brilliant idea. This combined with the introductions will intrigue your guests and give them the sense that you're plugged into the community. So I had a friend do this. They literally set up a corner table at a restaurant and all their appointments were there at that corner table. And they would spend 3, 4, 5 hours there meeting people there. Such a fun idea. I love this idea. Now, again, can you imagine if you're sitting there in the corner, people are going to start wondering who the heck you are? Like, are you some sort of celebrity? What are you? And they're going to want to know a little bit more information about you and your business. So this is another great idea that can help you get business right now. Strategic partners. This one is one of my most favorites, right? Find out who dominates your professional market. Google it, ask friends, call these individuals to meet them face to face. Tell them from time to time you have clients that need a good attorney, banker, insurance agent, pest inspector, landscaper, and you want to make sure they're in good hands, right? Work your database to refer business to them. This could be another great call. You can call your database and you can say, hi, Kiera, this is Marguerite. How have you been? Hey, by the way, do you happen to know any really good financial advisors? I'm looking to add somebody to my business and I want to find somebody that's great and has a great recommendation. This is a great way to call your database, right? Kill 2 birds with 1 stone and get a referral, right? Schedule a specific time each week to call these accounts and either refer them new business or check on existing referrals. Most salespeople know the value of a referral and they'll go out of their way to return your favor. You'll have sales contracts coming out of your ears before you know it on this one. I can tell you that my brother, in fact, moved to San Diego and he had no business. He was a lender up here and he was trying to figure out how he was going to make it work. He did what we call a milk route. He found 20 of the top bankruptcy attorneys in town. This was during the short sale crisis. Found 20 of the top bankruptcy attorneys in town and he called on them, physically called on their office every single week. His second year in real estate, he did $25 million in real estate. So he, to this day, he does what we call milk routes. So this is a great way to build your business, right? Another great, and keep in mind, you're probably not going to get to the attorney right away, but you'll get to their front receptionist, bring in cookies, bring in cinnamon rolls, bring in little pop-by stuff. And eventually that person will let you get into the attorney. But what I've also found is many times I've gotten the referrals directly from the front receptionist people and not from the attorney. So doing milk routes with people that you want to work with, calling on them. If you think about it, a lot of lenders and title people, it's not as common as it used to be, but they used to do this a lot where they would call on offices on a weekly basis. And they would always, eventually you build a relationship with them and eventually you get business with them. Now, these sometimes can take longer, but again, I have literally had a situation where I walked into an office and I got a deal that day. So these are ways that you can get business. Now, divorce attorneys, number 6. We all know a few people who are divorced, right? They said the divorce rate has increased to 60%, which is kind of crazy. Ask them to rank the attorneys that they used on a scale of 1 to 10 and set a meeting with any attorneys that ranked higher, right? At 8 or higher. This is the thing. Divorce attorneys, almost always, they have people who have to sell a house. In fact, I have clients right now that I have listed that are going through a divorce. And I'll tell you, it's not easy. It's a little bit of work with them. But the truth is that they have to sell the house. The beauty of getting deals from attorneys in many of these situations is that they have to make a decision. They have to sell the house. So going out and finding, this can be something where you can call your database and say, I'm calling for a friend. Hopefully you are. And getting a list of divorce attorneys that you can talk to and reach out to. But honestly, if you were to, again, go to your local market, go to Google, reach out to people in your database. Who are the top divorce attorneys? Now you could replace this word for probate attorneys, right? Or things like that. And the reality is that if you call on these attorneys on a regular basis, you will be front of mind when you are talking to these people. So this is another way that you can go out there and get some right now business. Financial planners. A lot of people talk about financial planners, right? Not only are they privy to their client's current financial situation, but they also usually know their client's long-term personal and financial plans, like when they plan to buy or sell a house. So a couple of years ago, what I did is I called up my financial advisor and I said, hey, why don't we do a dinner? And he says, what are you talking about? I said, you bring 3 to 5 of your best clients. I'll bring 3 to 5 of my best clients. And we'll have a dinner party and you get to meet 5 of my clients. I get to meet 5 of your clients. It was fantastic. We actually did a night at Makuni's Sushi. We had so much fun. I got to meet some of his really great people. He got to meet some of my really great people. We both walked away with potential and future clients. So if you don't have the budget to do that, you don't have to do anything like that. But you can also do different kinds of events and stuff like that that can help you get your parties and your groups together. So this is an awesome way, meeting with financial planners, attorneys, and you guys, I'm here to tell you, I know we're talking about right now business. I can't even tell you how many times I've walked in and they'd be like, by the way, I do have a client. Can you reach out to, Bob and Sally Smith? It happens a lot. You have to be doing the work though. You have to be willing to do the work, correct? All right, the next one is housewarming party. Throw a housewarming party and tell the owners you will invite their new neighbors and cater food and drinks. All they have to do is show up to the party. And then you can partner with your lender to split the cost, right? Might cost you $100 max. Maybe you buy some pizzas, you go get a bunch of Mexican food and you set it up. And guess what? You get to meet all of the people that are friends with the people in the housewarming party. And ideally you get to meet the neighbors as well. And guess what? When are people the most excited, most happiest? They just moved in. They're all excited, right? They're thrilled. And you walk in, and anytime I do these housewarming parties, I'm like the star of the show, which was not the intent, but that's what ends up happening. They're like, oh my gosh, this is who made it happen. Marguerite was our realtor, and so-and-so was our lender. And this is a great way to do this. Again, you can partner with your lender or whoever the lender was on the sale of the home. I've even had the home inspection people come out. I've had I've invited other vendors so that the home inspection people or the pest people, so now maybe they can get signed up for some pest work, right? Lots of different things that you can do to make this extraordinary. But what you get the opportunity to do is get in front of all those people that they know, all those people who are going to trust them, and they're now going to trust you. Anyone have any thoughts, feedback, input yet? You guys been a little quiet over there.
So true.
Yeah, isn't it awesome? Okay, so the next one is handwritten notes. I know you guys are thinking, what? Use unbranded stationery, ideally, and write the note immediately after receiving a referral. Don't make a phone call until the letter is written, stamped, and in the mailbox. What I can tell you is if you do this every time you get a referral from someone, not just the first time, The recipient won't think it's weird to receive 5 thank you cards for 5 separate referrals. He or she will feel valued and completely copy you. Everyone I know that uses this practice, but 99% of salespeople don't. Some make a phone call to say thanks. Others don't even expand that much effort. Do yourself a favor and join the 1%. Your bank account will thank you. You know, the truth is appreciation is not expressed nearly as often. And even do something nice for someone and the person didn't even acknowledge you. Have you ever had someone do something nice for you and no one ever acknowledged your effort? Well, same thing. The most common obstacle is not having stamps, stationery, etc. on hand. So go ahead, hop in the car, get your supplies so you can keep them with you at all times. I have a little drawer right here next to my desk. It has stamps, it has return address labels, and it has note cards so that I can sit. You know, here's the thing, you guys, note cards have like gone the way of the dinosaur. But how many of you love to get a little note or a card in the mail? Right? Like a little something that's written, you get so excited. Like think about the birthday card you would get from grandma that had 5 books in it for your birthday, right? And oh, Christy says she typically sends a personal note with a thank you gift, like a local bakery. Love that. You know, utilize your local people too, guys. That's a brilliant idea. We're going to add that one, Christy. Go out, get to know your local vendors, your local grocery stores, your small business people, your bakeries, your just your local people, and help highlight and spotlight them, right? Buy some little gift cards from their stores that you can throw into cards and notes to help support your local businesses, your small businesses. Love that idea. So think about this. How many can you send out in a week? I get so excited. I mean, when I go to the mail and I open my mail and I throw out all the junk mail, right? I set the bills aside. And then next thing you know, I pull out my little cards of things that I got and I get so excited, right? Andy says, use your actual handwritten penmanship, not the machine generated one. Yes, I agree. Right? So this is something, you guys, it literally takes you 2 to 3 minutes out of your day and can be incredibly and hugely rewarding. I mean, just watch. All right. Next one is really develop a niche, right? I have another class I teach. I'll maybe do it in the next couple of weeks called How to Get Rich in Your Niche. People gravitate towards specialists, right? And we get caught up as salespeople thinking, well, I don't want to like pigeonhole myself. I don't want them to think I only sell condos, right? And the truth is, developing and marketing to a niche is marketing. It doesn't mean you can't sell those homes, right? So what do I mean by that? There was a guy in South Florida and he became the condo king. This guy literally sold thousands of condos. He was the self-proclaimed condo king. And he became very focused in that one area. Now, I can promise you, he also sold luxury homes. I can promise you, he also sold regular homes and, you know, oceanfront homes and everything else. But he had this title of the condo king. This could mean a lot of different things. It could mean that you are dominating your neighborhood and you live in Crocker Ranch, for example, and you're a specialist in Crocker Ranch, right? Now, when I say develop a niche, I don't mean just put a sign out there that says you're the area expert, right? We've all seen those. I'm talking about create an entire brand around it, make information on your website, post different things, come up with different things. Like even Asher is on our call today, and he's created this Ring a Bell, right? Ring a Bell Realty. And so what I love about it is that it stands out, right? And he uses that bell. And you know, Asher, do you like actually give everybody a bell at closing? You probably should.
No, not yet, but not a bad idea.
I actually just thought of that idea and I love it. Wouldn't it be cool? Like one of those really cool bells and you could have it engraved or something like that, right?
Maybe I could just bring him some Taco Bell.
Well, there you go. But you know what? I am actually fascinated by that idea. It would be cool. And hey, if you ever need my real estate, you know, needs in the future, or you know somebody, just ring the bell, right? It can be kind of fun. Anyway, jack of all, not cowbells. Yeah. Andy said not cowbells. Right. So jack of all trades and master of none comes to mind, right? Like if you need knee surgery, you want to go to a knee specialist, not a general practitioner, correct? And so what can you do to actually start to specialize in something specific? Like last year, I had a friend who created a Facebook page just called Homes with Pools. And all he did was highlight homes that had swimming pools. And he started getting a ton of business from it, right? So find ways to develop this niche, or even better, write a blog about your niche and backlink it to your website, right? Constant stream of new content will keep your site at the top of the search engine. Now you guys have Chat GPT, you know, it can write the articles for you, for goodness sake. So I don't know if you guys are too familiar with that, but Chat GPT is a AI program that will automatically write, and it's actually pretty good. Will write articles and stories for you. And most of the top people are using AI now in Chat GPT. But I do have a class that I'll do in the next few weeks called Get Rich in Your Niche. And we'll dive deep into that class on one of our Tuesday tune-ups. Okay, wear a name badge in public. So again, this seems obvious, but how many of us do this regularly? You could be missing out on a whole ton of business. Talk to people that are waiting in line at the grocery store, waiting at Starbucks. They will see from your name tag that you're an agent, and often the conversation will naturally gravitate towards real estate and present opportunities. So how many of you are wearing a name badge? Some of us are like, oh, that's cheesy, right? Oh, I don't want to be a salesperson, blah, blah, blah. Well, do you also want to be broke? So you have to decide, right? Andy Yes says, be a walking billboard. Lots and lots of stuff. And even it could be something that you dress that brands you to you. Again, I know Asher always dresses, you know, like to the nines, but yeah, broke is hard too.
Just a little bit, Marguerite.
What's that?
Just a little bit over the top. It's the gimmick.
It is, and it stands out, right?
What kinds?
Absolutely.
Is someone else talking or not muted? Let's see. Who do we have here? Who's also talking? There we go. Okay, looks like we're muted. So, but you know, find a way to stand out. I know that there's some of those people who wear the name badge upside down. That gimmick is, you know, kind of entertaining. I've seen people that have flashing name badges or bling name badges with glitter and all kinds of cool stuff on it. What can you do to stand out? This is the whole deal. This is the important part, right? Okay, next one is using coming soon signs. So I know this generates buzz and gets the word out, honestly, without adding to your days on market number. Now, I know we have some restrictions in some of our MLS about marketing. I think we can only do it within 3 days now. But the reality is you can get out there and do a coming soon sign. Another thing that has worked out a lot for us is making sure that those 3 days that we have before it goes into the MLS, that we are maximizing the marketing on it during those 3 days. People always want to know about coming soon and what has not hit the market yet, right? They want to know what is coming up on the market. And so this is a great way to put out coming soon signs. If you can't put signs in the area, you can put stuff on social media as long as it's within that 3-day window. For those of you that are around different parts of the country, just make sure whatever your rules are for there. Christy says, yes, join Facebook groups for real estate in the Bay Area and post coming soon there. Leave out the address so no one reports you. There you go. See, there's always a workaround. People are creative, right? You can always find a way to work around things. So these are some ideas that can help you, again, get some right now business. All right, the last one, again, I know this sounds basic, but open houses are the cheapest and easiest way to get in front of potential clients. If you're looking to get right now business, there is absolutely no better way. Plus, there are a lot of unrepresented buyers walking around at open houses, and you get to go meet them. It's a great way to strike up a conversation. Also, you can go visit other agents' open houses. Get to know them.
Hey, Marguerite.
Yes.
One of my new agents on my team, Francis, did an open house, I think about 2 months ago. The lady just called him back. She's listing a house with him in Vallejo Hills, selling a mobile home, and then wants to buy an $850,000 new construction home.
There you go. See, it works. you know, and it's funny, you guys, because people are like, oh, open houses are so boring, right? Oh, I don't want to do open houses. What a waste of time. Well, let me ask you this. What else were you doing today? Were you sitting at home in your pajamas? Go buy yourself one of those little card tables and a couple chairs. Take your laptop out and go work from an open house today, right? The good news is maybe some clients come in. If they don't, it's the perfect opportunity for you to get some work done, make some calls, do what you need. Now, I'll tell you a couple of things that have worked for me. Inside, outside open houses. What does that mean? If you don't know what that means, it means partner up with another agent. Ideally, get 2 or 3 agents out there, get your lender out there, and you set up a pop-up tent out front. If you have a branded one, great. If you don't, that's okay too. Put some signs, balloons, put out some snacks out there, put some cookies and waters and things like that. Because what do people do? They like drive by slowly, right? But if there's people out front, now all of a sudden they're curious, right? Like Andy says, a bunch of curious Georges out there masquerading in open houses. That's true too, but you never know. So the reality is, you do an inside outside open house. When people are driving slowly, you wave them in, come on in, come check it out, right? And they see the activity and the attention that's happening out front, and they almost always stop. So inside outside open houses are fantastic. Put some balloons, make it look like a show going on out there, right? Another thing is for if you don't have listings, of course, you can reach out to other agents and get open houses from them. I get people ask me all the time. There are certain companies that don't allow it, ignore them. But reach out to agents and find open houses in areas that you want to be. Ideally, when you think about open houses, make sure that they're only 1 or 2 streets off the main street, right? Like one of the best open houses I used to do for any of you guys who are local was an open house on Hazel Avenue. It was a HUD home back in the day. And we would go out there and we would put balloons, all kinds of stuff. And it was such a busy road. People would like almost had a couple accidents. We would get 30, 40, 50 people coming through that open house. Now it was a trash fixer. Everyone always wants to put the nice houses, but everyone wants the fixers. Everyone wants a deal, right? But the reality is you get them in the door and then you start talking about what all the other options and opportunities are out there for them. So houses still work. They still work, right? And if God forbid nobody comes through your open house, you've just got yourself 2, 3, 4 hours that you could be making calls. You got time that you could be working on your marketing pieces, doing reels on Facebook, all kinds of stuff you could do. So don't think of an open house for yourself to stand there and twiddle your thumb and, browse through Facebook the whole time. Look at ways that you can be creative and energetic, have music going, have it feel like it's a party going on there, right? Have your family and friends come by. People love to see people around. So don't get super caught up in the open houses don't work anymore. So, okay, well, guys, that is all I have for today. Those are my 14 options that I came up with. Who's going to be willing to do some of those today and get going, right? You guys can get updates and emails on upcoming classes. Just head on over to my website, add your name to my email list. Unless you're already getting my emails, you won't need to do that. And I also have a Facebook group called Real Estate Success Strategies and Accountability that I try to post stuff in there too. The recordings will be posted in there. You guys can check it out. And I have my podcast, so you can check all that out. All right, you guys, anything else I can help you with today? Any questions, comments?